What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Something in the Water podcast. I'm Cracka, and
I'm
this is
Desko Martin.
how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Yeah. How about you?
I'm good. Side note: so this is our first time filming since we've dropped.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the first thing that I want to talk about. Is like,
Yeah.
what type of feedback have you been getting
Okay.
from people?
Yeah. I've been getting great feedback. It's funny because shout out my cousin Nate. It's funny because he's a personal trainer, and usually he's always busy. And we still make sure we keep in contact, but I'll shoot him a text and I'll get a text like maybe a couple days later. But it's funny, I just got a text out of the blue today before I got here, and he was like, "Man, been watching the podcast on my free time.
Hell yeah!
Just want to say like I love it, love what you guys are doing." He was like, "Keep it up," you know what I'm saying? And just even like I don't know, everything's been good. We do the Soul Lounge, so
That was 2 days ago.
yep, 2 days
Talk
ago
about
was the
that.
Soul Lounge Neo Soul Party. So it's basically a residency at the Avenue for 6 months until May. So basically, we're having 2 parties a month. It's epic. It's always a sellout event, and everybody there is a fan of the podcast.
For
Like,
real?
yeah, like everybody has been coming up to me and being like, "Yo, I've been seeing your content. I didn't know you did a podcast," and just telling me like stuff they want to do or stuff they want to work on, and even been asking for advice, which is crazy because then it turns to a point where I'm like, "Bro, we're literally just doing it." You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And it feels good. It feels really good. And I don't know. What about you? You've been getting good
yeah,
feedback?
yeah. It's for me. It was just a really good feeling of. It reminded me of, let's say, a music artist is
Yeah,
working on an album,
yeah,
and so they're kind of like hibernating
yeah,
and they're not dropping, but they're working so hard. They're in the
yep,
studio every day and they're
mm-hmm,
writing songs, recording songs, mixing songs, but they can't share anything
yeah,
with the world. And then finally the album drops, and now they're getting like feedback and all
yeah,
that hard work,
yeah,
That's how I feel.
yeah. It's
That's,
pretty cool too. Every time I call my girlfriend, shout out my girl, but every time I call her, like FaceTime,
yeah.
like she does nails, so she's like doing the client's nails, but she has a TV behind her, and she lately it's been our podcast every time.
Hey,
So
thank you.
yeah,
That's
thank you.
awesome.
Yeah,
She's
so
promoting.
yeah, and every time I just see somebody, they're like, "Bro, I just watched this or I just watched that." So, and it's crazy because it's been like a long time coming, it feels like.
Yeah.
So we have what, 9 episodes, 10 episodes now. This is the 11th, right?
This is the 11th episode. Yeah.
Yep. So we've had those episodes kind of in the tuck
For
for
months.
yeah, for months before we drop. So now it feels good just being able for people to see the progression from the very first episode to like the Amber episode, and then even
Yeah.
now, I'm just excited about
That was
everything.
so shout out to Eclipse.
Yep. Shout out to Clips.
Eclipse randomly called me in context of this. He don't not he's not a hater by any means,
Yeah.
but he to randomly hit someone up and just I'm like, yo, what up?
Yeah.
Hey, that podcast dope.
Yeah.
I said, what? The podcast. I said, yeah,
It's dope.
that shit dope. I said, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I appreciate the shout out. And remember, we filmed these months ago. So I'm
Yeah.
like, shout out, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
He was like, I think it was on like the second episode or something like that. But he was like, I think it's just so dope to go back and listen to like the first episode,
Mhm.
and you had like just got the keys to the studio.
Yeah.
The second episode, I was talking about like bringing the clips on
Yeah.
and like you were saying, the progression and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good that we always do these episodes
Yeah.
to like life updates, kind of where we're at, where we're going. So it's like a grow with us.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what a lot of people were saying the other night at the Soul Lounge was just basically the feedback as of like, I just like that you guys are actually friends. And I just like that you guys actually talk about stuff that's going on in your life. Like
Yeah.
the feeling that it's almost like how, just to go back to the Amber episode is people relate to you by just you speaking about everyday life things. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? It's not, as long as it's genuine, people really do relate. And stuff like that feels good, especially when they acknowledge that.
Yeah.
So,
How do you feel about going out and like with Soul Lounge?
with the Soul Lounge,
Yeah, and going out in the bar scene. Because I remember I told you,
yeah,
you're my friend and I support you,
yeah,
but like I would pay money to not have to go to an event. It's just because I don't like the scene. I don't like the crowd. And
yeah.
for me, I'd lose all of my energy walking into a
No,
place.
100%. So me, I'm completely the same way, I would say. Um, just with doing these events, even doing this podcast, certain serious events made me a certain way in my life as I got older, and I feel like I really became a closed off person. But I've been really just trying to put myself out there more, and I feel like things like the Soul Lounge kind of give me anxiety because I'm like the cameraman running around shooting stuff, and all these people are having fun. And
So you do got your camera there?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so I take that back. So maybe if I was there, and Malik, you can
yeah,
relate. If I got my camera there, that's
yeah,
kind of like my safety mechanism. It's like
yeah,
I have a purpose of being here. But if
hmm
you take the camera away from me and now I'm just like supposed to be chilling,
yeah, 100%.
shit, does someone need me to do something?
Yeah.
Or can I help the
I
DJ
think
with something?
the camera's the cheat code for sure because I definitely will be like sitting in one spot and then when I feel weird, I'll be like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go shoot something or you know.
Uh-huh.
But just overall being around a lot of people gives me anxiety, but I've been making sure I still put myself out there in a way where I'm becoming more comfortable for it.
Is it different when it's your own event though? I feel like
It
for me it
is. It
would for
is. Yeah.
sure.
It really is because like there's a lot of people that genuinely love me there, like that are
Uh-huh.
considered my family, you know what I'm saying? So it feels good just having people around you and being able to know that like no matter what happens here, like everybody still is looking out for you. You know what I'm saying? In the sense
Uh-huh.
of like shout out my boy Q. Q Hef. He's somebody who is always helping me either create videos or in my videos. When I called him about the Soul Lounge, he is the first one to text me like, what time should I get there? And I'm like, doors open at 8. I'll be there at 7. You know what I'm saying? So
Uh-huh.
like when I get there, oh, I'm gonna make sure I watch your stuff or I'm gonna make sure this. So just having those people around, even my girlfriend, even having those people around where it's like,
Is this the first one that she's went to?
no, she
Or
came to the first one in January last year.
oh, okay.
Yep, that's how initially we first met each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who talked to who first?
So long story short, I met her some years back at a bar and it's
In
crazy.
Lansing?
Yeah, yep, at the Exchange.
Exchange. Where's that? That's
It's
by the
not. It's no
Capitol.
longer anymore. Yeah, they shut it down. Yeah, but it's on the strip by the Capitol.
Okay.
But yeah, met her at the Exchange. I had a girlfriend at the time, so I really didn't talk to her. It was my friend's friend, so I just said hi and just kind of like minded my own business.
But you knew who she was?
No, it was the first time I ever seen her, but I didn't even really like even interact. I just, hey, how's it going? My name's Elicia. My name's Martin. You know what I'm saying? And then never really talked about her or never thought about her again in that sense. And then got out of a relationship and just randomly on Instagram, like I just happened to see her, you know what I'm saying, on Instagram. I'm like, oh, this is a girl from the bar.
Were you following her?
No, it was on the people you may know.
Okay.
And
So
then,
did you follow?
yep, I followed her.
Hey.
I believe I was the first one to follow her. She followed me, and me putting myself out there like we're
Hey.
doing now. I got these new Rode mics, and I was just testing them on my story
I
on
think I
Instagram.
remember the video. You were like
Yes.
in your house.
Yep. So
Is it black and white?
yep. So randomly, me just I happened to yawn, and she just like replied to my story and was like, "I don't know what you're doing, but that yawn made me yawn," or she said something in that
Oh,
term, and then it just happened from there.
okay.
And the next time we seen each other was at the Soul Lounge, the first one. I think it was the first one, and then she just came to everyone after that, and things have been going good. So
That's another benefit of creating content and putting yourself out
yeah,
there
for
is
sure.
like if you're single, you need to be posting all these pieces of content
Yeah,
because they're gonna lure people in and showcase who you are and what you do and stuff like
yeah,
that. And
and I think when you put yourself out there and you're not used to it, like there's a sense of genuineness in there in that content because I feel like for me, like even when she responded to my story, like I was very like I'm a shy person naturally, so I'm very like I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. I have these mics. I don't. What do I do? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I just happened to be like, oh, I'm testing out these mics, blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And I yawned, and then it happened.
yeah.
Yep. So just having people like that around at the Soul Lounge, just making sure like she always knows, okay, his focus. She goes to meet with me to all the events like movement, anything I have to do in Detroit when I film and stuff like that. So she's like my superstar for real when it comes to just understanding what I have to focus on and then being the person that supports that.
Have you ever been with a girl that didn't support what you do?
Uh
Or, or
yeah.
maybe not 100% support what you do?
Yeah.
Or
Yep. Yep. It was when I I've always been making beats, but it was when I was really trying to like actually like make beats and I didn't have a space to make beats or be loud at. And it was just like it happened to be in my bedroom at the time, but I had a small apartment and I was with someone who ain't really support me in the way where it was just like, bro, like you're just being loud all day. You know what I'm saying? and it kind of gets to a point where it's kind of like, all right, I'm just not gonna do this no more. Or it's just, it gets discouraging sometimes. But I've definitely been in something like that. I've experienced being with someone and having goals and dreams and then kind of getting sidetracked as well. So yeah, what about you?
No.
Really?
I've always had like super fucking high standards, like
Yeah.
unattainable
Yeah.
standards to where I'd rather just be single because it
This
was
is what
almost
you're doing.
impossible.
Yeah.
And I remember when my daughter was like 3 or 4 months old, I was single from then until she was almost 4.
Yeah.
And uh so single to the point my friends thought I was gay.
Whoa.
Cause
That's
like,
crazy. I have some friends like that though.
but it's almost like, okay, let's say you're super horny, thirsty, single friends,
Yeah.
and they're like, bro, so and so,
The
she's
hoes, this, that.
so and so, because there was girls that were interested,
Yeah.
and they're like, are you blind? Can you
Yeah.
tell? And I'm just like, I have no interest, and they're
Mhm.
like, man, you must be gay. It got to that, and
I
then
see what you're saying.
I would start talking to a girl, and then I would like call my friend Dylan, and him and his wife. He basically just put me on speaker, and it was like a thing where they would know that I would find all these things wrong with the girl,
Mhm.
and it could be the smallest. It'd be like,
Yeah.
I can't think of a specific thing right now, but it'd be kind of small things.
Yeah.
Where it's like, she's annoying because this, and this. And they'd be like, oh my God, you're going to be single for the rest of your life. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
the second she did that, it was like, I lost all interest.
Yeah.
And then there'd be another one. And then I remember when I got with Alyssa, the only bad thing I said was, she's playing such hard to get that I feel like she almost don't even give a fuck. But she was doing all the, it's crazy. Like, she literally caught me because
Yeah.
she watched some movie back in the day, like John Tucker Must Die or something. It was
Yeah.
like the popular dude that had all the girls, and then
Mhm.
there was some girl that he wanted, and she didn't want him, and that was the only one that he wanted
Yeah.
because all the other girls were so easy and stuff. And she assumed that I was John Tucker,
Yeah.
and so that I was used to all these girls, whatever. And yeah, she played very hard to get, and it was like when I was with her, I felt like,
Love.
yeah, I felt
Yeah.
very loved. I
Yeah.
used to say home. That was the term that I said.
Mhm.
Like, man, I feel at home. But then like when we'd part
The
ways,
disconnect.
because I play hard to get too,
Yeah.
and so I'd be like, I'm not gonna text her. But then 3 days go by and I'm talking to Dylan like, bro,
She hasn't texted me.
she hasn't texted me either. Like, I'm playing hard to get, but she's playing harder to get.
That's funny.
And yeah, it worked. It
Nah,
worked. So
yeah.
play hard to get out there, girls.
Hey, for real. Yeah. I think, yeah. That's a good one too. It's funny because um the most random thing, like my girl's so cool. When we first started dating, we were like talking first, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I was like hanging out, we were hanging out, I was going over her house. We were spending a lot of time together. But it's so funny because I kind of like I remember, so do you remember the first time like you realized you love your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if necessarily you want to talk about that, but
What
I-
was your time? Is this fucking episode dedicated to our girls?
no, it doesn't have to be. We can move on from here. This stemmed from the Soul Lounge, but
It did stem from the Soul Lounge. Holy shit.
yeah, it's crazy. But I just realized, like, for me at least, I really care. It really means a lot when people care about like my feelings.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds crazy, like sometimes people might be like, oh, like, you're being soft or whatever. I grew up having to be really tough,
Mhm.
being around like, my people in my family, the guys in my family being like, oh, don't cry, don't do this. So you grow up, be tough and whatever. And so just getting older and becoming a man and trying to better yourself, you realize like it's a lot of untouched feelings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just trying to work through that stuff. I remember one time, I was just having a bad day. I think it was just like a lot going on. And one time my girl was like, do you want to just come over and like lay down? And like, she was like, you know, I can rub on you or like I can hold you and you can tell me how your day went.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like it blew my mind. Like it was
Yeah.
like, wait, hold on. It was like stuff like that happens. You know what I'm saying?
I can do that.
Yeah. It was just like, hold on. Like you want to do that? Like, and that was the time I was like, oh yeah, this is good for me.
How many months in was that?
I can't remember. It was pretty fast. It hasn't been.
Mine was within the first like 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, shoot.
Maybe first 3 months. It was definitely longer than a month and less than like 3.
Dang. That's crazy. Yeah, we were pretty fast. We start hanging out pretty fast.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me your story.
The love?
Yeah.
I remember it was a night she came over. For me, the hardest part about I guess like dating, I knew I was super available.
Yeah.
But it would only be once we like crossed that threshold where I could introduce her to my daughter.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically the schedule I had at the time years ago was my daughter would be with her mom on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So I would only work on Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh.
So basically Saturday I was in the studio 12 hours or shooting music videos. Like I was just grinding nonstop for like 3 days straight. And then for 4 days, I would go pick Maya up. We'd get groceries. That's when I would do my laundry, like be chilling for 4 days. And I would do like the CD duplication stuff from home. So I knew once a girl can get past the like, all right, it's serious enough now where I can introduce you to my daughter. Oh, I'm super available because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
It's kind of like put you right in the schedule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like super available. So it was just getting to that point. But so up until that point, she hadn't met Maya yet. And so it'd be more so on the days where I didn't have her, we'd hang out. But I remember, it was a certain night and kind of like Maya was asleep and we were in another room and, and talking and up and doing stuff or playing card games, whatever you want to say. But I remember like looking up at her and being like, I love you. And that was
it's a good old I love you right there.
Yep. And then I want to say it was like maybe the next time we got together, I was like, I want you to meet my daughter.
That's
and
fine.
I remember we went to like dinner, and then once I did that, I was like, oh, okay, now we're deep.
It's over.
It's over, because shit, I'm available for dinner and coming over.
Time.
So much. So
now it's your wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Fire.
And all that stemmed from social media too.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Even when I was single, I was telling Kadar, shout out to Kadar.
Shout out Kadar.
He's single right now, so single fine women, snatch that young man up while you can, while the opportunity's there.
Yeah.
But I got talking to him about like dating and stuff, and I was telling him I never went in cold. So like I never in my life seen a girl, no idea who she was, and like went and approached her.
Yeah.
I had never done that in my life. And then also like even just seeing a attractive girl and then just like reaching out or hitting on them was like, no. I always played the long game.
Yeah, I've never done that either.
So it might be you follow them or if they're already following you, you follow back. And then even then, like you're chilling. You got to play the long game.
Yeah.
Sometime within the next few weeks or whatever, you might like something that they post. And then kind of keep it there. See if they're interested, then they might like some shit of yours too. But a lot of mine was at some point they liked something of mine, so they caught my attention, and then I liked something of theirs. And so it's kind of that back and forth. And then eventually it's like, okay, you've liked a handful of my shit. I've liked a handful of your shit. The interest is there. Now I'm going in for the kill.
Isn't it crazy though how like it happens when you're almost not like you're not looking for it. Like at the time where you like,
bro, the complete opposite. So
you were looking for it.
No, like I wasn't looking for it at all.
That's what I'm saying. Me either.
Bro,
Me either.
I had went to Vegas for the first time in my life.
Yep.
This is a true story. I was going to Vegas for the first time in my life, and I had heard that prostitution was legal in Vegas, right?
Hey, yo.
So I'm like, you know what? Hey, YOLO, at some point in my life, I'm gonna pay for a prostitute. I'm going to Vegas with my friend. I'm single. He's single.
Yeah, you're about to tear it up.
It's going down.
That's crazy.
I'm on the first night. I think I had like jet lag, and he had tickets to like a Nicki Minaj concert or something like that. And he had met some girl on Tinder or something, and so he was gone. And then I was hanging out with a dude that I knew also through Instagram.
Yeah.
And me and him went to dinner, and he was a rapper, and so we were like meeting each other. He went to college with like my childhood best friend, and so like my childhood best friend was telling him about me, and then telling me about him, and was like, "Oh, yo, you guys should link up." So that's kind of how that happened. But I'm with him, and this dude is super cocky. He's a good-looking dude too, but he would walk past girls and say, "Look at my face." Like imagine that level of confidence and cockiness. Okay. Yeah. So I'm with him, and again, I'm out there for some memories. Well, I think the first or second night that I'm there, for whatever reason, we had a couple drinks, and I think Alyssa had either liked something I just posted or she had just posted something. Somehow she popped up, and for whatever reason, like the universe aligned, and I DM'd her. I had some like liquid courage. It was maybe like 10, 11 midnight in Vegas. So in Michigan, it was like 2, 3 in the morning. She had a job. She had to work in the morning, and seen it, and she responded right away. And all I wrote to her was, "Hey, you're cute." But she had already shown the interest. Yeah. So, yeah. And it was like, I'm talking to her now. I have no interest in doing what I came here to do.
So you didn't pay for no Gucci?
I didn't pay for none. Yeah. So I still have not experienced that. And Alyssa like literally stopped me in the act. Yeah. So shout out to her. And that was without meeting her, without seeing her, without dating, nothing. It was just like a DM. And
that was like a sign right there.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
I was going out there. So have you been to Vegas?
No, never.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Just back to a mindset type of conversation. I don't believe in gambling. It's very hard for me to. I wouldn't say I'm a bad gambler, but like things I've seen people addicted to. Yeah. My mentality to those things is like, not that they're bad, but more as if like, okay, if I do this, I'm not gonna do it again, or I'm not gonna do it that often. So for me, like I have no interest going to Vegas, but it looks nice. Now they got the big
the dome thing.
Yeah, I want to go to that. I want to go watch a movie or something, and that'd be fire.
Yeah. Well, I think with you being a music artist, if I was you, I'd love to go out there, but like do some productive shit. You know,
for sure.
Like shoots 2, 3 videos, get a bunch of content, stuff like that, and then also, I love business pleasure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so
me too.
I think that's my favorite thing to do is like,
that's a good perspective on it, for sure.
Hey, you want to go to Miami? It's cold. You want to go to Miami? It's cold.
Yeah.
Let's all chip in and get a nice ass Airbnb. We're going to Miami. Yeah. You have a bunch of shit. I have a bunch of shit. You have a bunch of shit. Yeah. You know, let's all go down there and work, have a bunch of stuff going on.
Idea.
And, you know? Yeah. Like that should happen maybe next month.
Yeah. For real. Malik.
Yeah.
So what else?
Where's your favorite place that you've traveled?
I would have to say.
Have you been to Mexico?
No. I would say Boston.
Boston.
But
I want to go to Boston.
Yeah, I love Boston. It's pretty nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you fly there or drive there?
I flew. The food was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, just on the Mexico standpoint, I'm Mexican. So like, my family comes from a place where it's like, growing up, people used to go there for vacations, and my family would be like, we don't go there. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a cultural thing of when you're here, you kind of stay here.
Okay.
But now that I'm older, I do want to go to Mexico, though.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty nice. But yeah, Boston, the food is amazing there.
What was some of your favorite food that you had there?
I had this place called it's called Ivan's.
Okay.
It's kind of like, it's almost like a speakeasy. It almost looks like it's very like off to the side. It's just a nice like sign that's lit up, and then you go in, and it's almost like, I almost want to say, if I remember right, it looks like a hair salon.
Okay.
And then you kind of like, you see somebody, it's kind of dark, not even lit, and then you see somebody kind of like the host, and then they're like, okay, you have a reservation, and they take you down a hallway, and it leads into like this ballroom where like the walls are carpets and there's chandeliers like lined up, and it's just
Damn.
this fancy restaurant, and they
This is
have
expensive?
yeah, it was expensive,
Okay.
but they had some. It was fairly it was all right, but they had some amazing drinks and amazing food. I had like a tomahawk and whatever, but
So I've never had a tomahawk steak in my
really,
life. Yeah.
dang, why not?
I haven't graduated to that
Yeah.
financial class.
Do you like meat? Pause. Pause. But do you like steak?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. I
Is
mean,
is a tomahawk steak like the best steak you've ever had? Or
no,
no?
no. I've only had it like twice or three times, but um, it's kind of overrated sometimes. But
Where's the tomahawk steak from on the cow?
if I know somewhere, they just cut the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
For real?
Yeah. So it comes out like on a big bone.
God damn.
Yeah. It's pretty. I mean, yeah, it's cool. But I think it's overrated a little bit. What about you? What's the one of the best places you visited?
Family, Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
I know tourist stuff, but like
Yeah.
we love that shit,
Yeah.
bro.
Hell
Like
yeah.
for me, it was like one of the best memories ever to like take my daughter to Disney World, funded by music,
Yeah.
Cracka stuff. You know, that
Heck
was
yeah.
like a
Accomplishment.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
like, bro, I did this, and I
Mhm.
did this from this.
Yeah.
Like amazing. This is awesome. This was yeah. It was like, and then they're playing like the music, like dreams come true and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I was like, oh, this is like a dream
Stuff
come
like
true.
that is magical though. You know what I'm saying? It feels
Yeah.
good.
So I have that special memory
Mhm.
tied to Orlando, Florida. So kind of anytime we go there, it brings back memories
Yeah.
of like Disney World. And then yeah, shit, we've taken Maya there like 4 different times now, or 5
Yeah.
different times, 6, something like
That's
that.
what's up, man.
So yeah, I really like Orlando. For like non-family or something. Like Vegas is cool.
Yeah.
It's I like to walk.
Okay.
So it's like an awesome place to just, I mean, you're gonna walk for hours.
Fire.
And then you're kind of walking through like cool lit up casinos, malls, the strip, restaurants. It was just kind of like I would be waiting till I was hungry again. It's kind of like my mindset there,
Yeah.
where it's like there's so many places to eat, and I'm not big on gambling or like drinking or partying or
Yeah.
clubbing and shit.
Yeah.
So it's more so I'm there for like the scenery, walking around, and then
Mhm.
like, hey, for something to do, we'll go eat. Okay, now we're gonna walk again. Oh damn, there's so many other places that look good. Well, we'll just kind of keep walking around and shit till we're hungry again.
So let me ask you this, just going back to the beginning as well, talking about not wanting to be places like the clubs and stuff like that. Was there any of that feeling there?
Yeah. Yes. The first time I went to Vegas,
Yeah.
I think one of the nights, it was just because like the friend that I had went
Yeah.
with, he loves that like going out shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was with him, and then just being,
Hard to match the energy.
yeah, he didn't understand that people are different than him.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, come on, bro, like we're in Vegas.
Yeah,
like,
we're going out.
why would you not want to go out? And I'm
Yeah.
like, let's go to the gym then. You don't want to go to the gym?
Yeah.
Like, that's not your
Yeah.
environment. Well, the club's not my environment.
Mhm.
Come on, man. Don't be a pussy. So it's like, all right, fine, let's go. But yeah, while I'm there, it's just like counting down the minutes till I'm just waiting for one person to be like, man, let's get out of here. I'm like, all right,
We out.
I'll race you outside.
That's funny.
So yeah, we did that one night. But no, I like the productive stuff. I think it'd be cool to put together a trip like that. I've always
Yeah.
wanted to, one of my like fantasies is to go somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
anywhere, with a music artist, and then obviously have like content creation team, you know, as far as
Yeah.
like a shooter, and create an EP from scratch.
Yeah.
So like literally go to, my original dream was Colombia. Like I wanted to go to Colombia. Malik was putting me on these different Airbnbs that are like
that would be crazy.
amazing looking,
Yeah.
but like very, very, very affordable. So
Yeah.
like we could go and live like kings for a couple weeks for very affordable. So I was just picturing going there, experiencing some life, some vibes,
Yeah, culture.
some culture,
Yeah.
document everything, but then while being there, let that inspire whatever music we create. So
Mhm.
some people want to plan it out too much, because I ran it by a few people and they're like, I feel like it'd be more productive if we made the music beforehand. We just went there and did the videos. I was like, no.
You gotta get the
Like,
inspiration from there.
I want to
Yeah.
create from there.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go there and go there empty. Like, we're just going.
Yeah.
I know I have skills to make beats, you know, that you have skills to write, record. Like, let's bring an interface. Like, we're going to set up a studio inside the Airbnb and we're going there and just, going to create, document everything, and then end up having this like documentary of this project. And then the making of it, making the songs, recording the songs, making the beats, shooting videos out there. So it'd be like the Columbia project or something like that. And then, kind of doing the same thing in another place, or like going to Colorado. Or one of the things I want to do is stay in a cabin somewhere at like a ski resort or in the winter.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing this nice ass big cabin thing and it's snow everywhere, but we're all inside. We got a bunch of food. And cooking both ways. Like someone is literally cooking in the kitchen some food, so there's good ass food.
Cooking up.
And then cooking up some beats, and music and stuff.
Yeah. So basically, I would say this episode is dedicated to content.
And girls. And prostitutes.
Hey, yo. No, but just the importance of content, man. I think it feels good too, just knowing, like, for myself, just all the people I've met or I've just had the pleasure to even just be around at the time. I feel like having those clips, having those videos, even conversations, like being able to at some point later on in life look back, that's always a good feeling. No matter if you're doing it for online or not, I feel like just documenting, I'm like such a person that's like, let's turn on the camera. Because it feels good. Later on, it's going to be that much better that you know that you did that and you have whatever you recorded with your people. Cool.
It was cool to see that you were getting like behind the scenes stuff when you would do sessions with Kaz.
Yeah. It's crazy because a lot of people would be like, oh, like somebody was shooting for you. Like literally you just set up my camera. Like, and it's a blessing too, just to have that stuff. Cause it's like, at some point, I'm looking at footage for a video now, but at some point I knew I had about like at least like 45 minutes to an hour of like straight footage of just us doing like in the studio, just doing music.
Multiple sessions.
Yeah. So it felt good just knowing like at least the camera just stayed on the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was thinking lately about like daily vlogging, but then I it's that shiny new object syndrome with me. It affects me a lot.
Yeah.
Because, like, we already know, doing this podcast, it's a lot. Like, you were just saying, bro, I'm behind, man, a lot of clips. And plus, outside of this, you have our space, you have so many different things, and myself as well. So I see someone, I think that's what it is. It's like I see someone doing something and I'm like, ooh, that looks cool.
Fire.
I want to do it too. And then I get all these ideas and I figure out, oh, I could do it like this. And this is how mine could be. And this is how I could make it happen. But then it's like, bro, you already had 515 other ideas that were good that you said, I'm going to do this and haven't done it.
But I think that's also the importance of like being around like-minded people and having a team, to be honest, because like even like the Soul Lounge, like we've been able to kind of grow where we have a budget to pay people. And so I hired someone to just come in even half the time. So I had them come in for like 2 or 3 hours. They shot some stuff, and then I had them come in the next morning, yesterday morning, and we were just at the office editing. And I had him do a video, and I'm doing a video. I'm about to finish my video, and we're done right now. But he got his done by the time we left, and it was kind of like a shorter version of what I'm working on. And it just feels good knowing like daily vlogging. If you did that, it'd be so like just relieving if you had that extra person that was like, "Hey, I'm doing all this. I just need you to film and cut this up." You know what I'm saying? So just I feel like I've been realizing lately, like teams are important, and I've just been looking for the right people or trying to find the right people. So
for me, I think it's figuring out the order of events. So let's say in your brain right now, you had like 30 different things that you want to do, and I'm picturing like I'm pretty good at like visualizing shit. You know, in certain movies where they're like almost like what's the thing called that you have? 3D.
Oh, the Oculus or
Yeah,
the
what are those called though?
virtual.
Virtual reality
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
So I'm picturing like you have one of those on where you can like zoom back and see
yeah,
everything. And it's like,
yeah.
all right, look, these are your fucking
You're mapping shit
250
out.
ideas.
Yeah,
So what you have to figure out is step one is this one.
yeah.
Like get this one done, and that's gonna bring in money, and it's not gonna require a lot of your time. And once that's done, now you'll have extra money to pay to get help, and then you do number 2. We're gonna do that one next. And yeah, like to figure out, um, even just with the thing, it might be like, okay, something in the water podcast. What I had written down was like January was like the launch. So beginning of January, end of December was all these old episodes. Let's get these up. Let's get it figured out. Let me learn Premiere.
Get it booming, yeah.
You know, and yeah, you know, we did that. And so now the next step for me is like, okay, the daily posting manually is a lot on me. So
me too.
it's like, let's figure that out. So that way we just sit down one day and maybe like schedule out a bunch of them. And that's like every other week or something. Or like, you know, we edit the podcast, edit the clips, schedule out the clips, and then we go back to our life for 6 days. And then meet up again and, you know, shoot, edit, make clips, schedule out clips, then go back to our life for 6 days. I think that's the magic behind it. So then I can move on, not move on, but, you know, like be like, okay, what's the next cool idea that I wanted to do? All right, next I'm going to do that, and I'm going to see that through.
How do you feel like, how do you prioritize the goals or the ideas?
I struggle with it like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because I do have ADHD, and so I've researched a lot about it to like understand it more. And basically, one of the things that the lady said in this video that I watched, there's several different videos I'd seen all said the same thing, but it was basically like in someone with ADHD's brain, they don't know how to prioritize. So they see all 20 things and all of them look like they're an urgent, important priority. Yeah. And so you don't know where to start. And so you get overwhelmed. And then there's this like ADHD paralysis thing that happens with me. And that's where I'm like, bro, I just feel like the studio and then speaking and then podcasting and YouTube and social media and money and business and family. It's like, I don't know which way to go. They're all like right here waiting to get done. And I don't know what the fuck to do.
But you seem to manage it well.
Shit.
I was gonna ask you how you're feeling. We didn't get to that part, but how are you feeling today, just in general? Because it seems like you came in with some good energy.
Yeah. I mean, I started reading a book today. Do you know who Ali Abdallah is? He's big on YouTube.
No.
He's from the UK and he talks like this. And hello, everyone. Welcome back to YouTube. This is Ali Abdal. We're going to talk about productivity hacks.
No, I have to check him out.
Okay, yeah. So basically, he was I think he went to like Cambridge or some fancy college, Ivy League type thing to be a doctor. He got his master's degree. He was a doctor, and then he basically started making YouTube videos about like studying to pass your test. And then he started to get really productive, so he started making videos about productivity. And then now he's got like 4 or 5 million subscribers. He's a multimillionaire. He retired from being a doctor after a few years because his YouTube stuff was blowing up and booming. And he just came out with his first book. It's called Feel Good Productivity. And usually when I dive into things, I dive deep. So like the audiobook was like 4.5 hours, and I think I only have like 2 hours left.
Oh wow.
Today. But yeah, basically what he was talking about, and this ties in with what you're asking, like how I felt. Feel good productivity. So a lot of us, we think that the more productive we are, the better we'll feel, which is true. Or like the more successful we are, the better we'll feel. But it's like all these studies break down on how like step one is feel good. So it's like take care of yourself, feel good. Now the odds of you being productive are like extremely high. And I was like, oh, that's probably why so many people have like morning routines. Where it's like, okay, in the morning, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna do this, and this. I'm gonna fill my cup. Now I feel good. Now bring on the day. I'm gonna be productive. And I was like, my most productive days in my life have been that, where it's like, woke up early, beat the sun up, I read, I worked out, I did these things. And then when I sit down to edit, I feel like I'm the man, I'm the beast. But if I just wake up late, or like, let's say tonight I stayed up super late, so now I don't wake up early tomorrow, and the first thing I think when I wake up is I'm not ahead, I'm really behind. So then I get anxiety, and then I don't know where to start, and then it's like, oh, it's already this time. I still have to do all these things, and I scatterbrained, and those are the worst days of my life. So
yeah, no, I understand completely. Today is the very first day of my routine,
hell yeah,
which is waking up. Today I woke up at 3:50. No
Jesus
alarm.
Christ.
Yeah, no alarm, no alarm, and I got up. I probably just chilled, like sitting up on my bed for about like 20 minutes, and then just got around. You know what I'm saying? Freshened up stuff, and then went to the gym at 5.
What time did you go to sleep?
Uh, that's the bad part. I went to sleep at like 1.
Okay.
Yeah, 12 on and off, like a
Do you
little.
drink caffeine?
Yeah, but I didn't today. I didn't today.
On 2 hours of sleep?
Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
Yesterday I did. I try to limit my caffeine because like I feel like it's really not that good for you. I'm the type of person that will drink coffee way before like I eat. So
Oh yeah,
that'll
yeah.
have
Me
me
too.
like,
I love that
"Ugh."
though. I
I
love
don't know.
that.
That stuff is scary sometimes. Feels like you're wired up. Yeah.
Shout out
So
to Andrew Tate. I think that's his like routine is like coffee, coffee, coffee,
mhm.
coffee, coffee until later in the day, and then he has his
Yeah.
dinner or something.
But yeah, so went to the gym at 5, got done about like 6:20, and then got back home and planned my day out, wrote everything down, and so today I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling really good today, man. I'm
Okay.
gonna try to do it tomorrow, so I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But just the habit of waking up early has been like really a struggle for me. I have one of the on Amazon. It's like the atomic alarm clock. It's the loudest alarm clock you can buy. It even comes with a shaker that you can put in a metal bowl. So it's like,
Damn.
yeah, I didn't have to use that today, so I'm
What
gonna
a
try to.
pleasant way to wake up and
Yeah,
start your day.
yeah, it's flashing red. It's like an alarm, like an alarm goes off, like a real
Yeah.
like, and then it's shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't used that yet this year. So I'm trying to stay not using it. I'm trying to wake up naturally, but I know that's gonna be a struggle. So it's kind of
Okay.
like a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever the night before write down all the shit that you want to do the next day or?
I have, but I've strayed away from that. I need to.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I want to.
Me too. I would say maybe like, and this is coming from a not so productive
Yeah.
day or time right now. But usually when I'm on it, it's daily.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every night I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, but I can't go lay down until I write out.
Yeah.
What am I doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
And I always try to think about like if I were only to get one thing done,
Yeah.
and I would feel like today was a solid day. What would that one thing be? And
Yeah.
usually for me, it's like a bigger thing. It might be like edit someone's music
Mhm.
video that's due, or like edit a YouTube video, or like finish a thing on a website, something like that. Usually those are kind of like my big things. And then all the sides that like if it's I have a session that day or a video, like that's all like, oh duh.
Mhm.
But what's something that I can do on my own before that stuff?
Yeah, for sure. And that's one thing I appreciate about the people that are around me too, is because a lot of times like we ask each other like, hey, what do you have to do today? Like do today, which kind of feels good because then you're like, well, I have to do this, I have to do this, and then it kind of makes sure that it's telling other people like, hey, he's a busy person, so let's try to figure out whatever this meeting is right now, and then
Hmm.
let him go on about his day. You know what I'm saying? So that
You guys
feels.
do that at our space?
Yeah.
Shout out to our space. I didn't.
Yeah. Like our meetings are usually an hour long,
Oh, okay.
but then like people will be like, hey, I have this after, or like people know me at least. I'm like, hey, bro, I got to do this, this, this. So they'll be like, oh, we don't want to, go over too much or not to do this. Let's think about time. Everyone's always thinking about time when it comes to meetings.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it feels good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you guys have them weekly or?
Yep. We have every Wednesday, and then we have a bi-weekly meeting every Sunday.
Okay.
Or yeah, every Sunday. Well, Sundays.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have better like leadership skills at the crack house.
Yeah, you guys don't have meetings?
No, bro. There's some idiot in
Yeah.
charge that's like fucking doing a podcast instead of having meetings.
Yeah. Should be a meeting right now.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely should. Whenever we do, I feel like the whole like everyone
feels
being
good,
a bar,
yeah.
everyone being like caught up or like
Yeah.
on the same page, and that's a good feeling. So whenever we do have the meetings, and I was doing it to where I was like, hey, I respect everyone's schedule. we don't all have to like show up at the studio. So, and I think it was an Instagram video call.
Okay.
Because like we have a group chat, so I can just go to the group chat and then hit call.
Yeah.
And everyone in the group chat, they're all there. What's up? So we've done that a few times, but side note that goes back into this, like after getting a lot of people coming up to me about the podcast, it made me want to listen to it.
Me
right?
too.
So when a clip said that about, he was like, yeah, it was like episode 2. And I was thinking like, what did I say about him? Let me go back and listen to what I said. I was like, oh, wow, I really was excited and talking about like, yeah, man, I just got the clips on board. It's only right. This, and this. And then
that's like a big name too, the clip.
Yeah.
That's like somebody that's like, I would consider like a prominent name in our area for sure.
I remember when I was like 17 and I had just started doing like music stuff, he was a DJ at a party there. And I like came up to him and I was like, yo, I'm Cracka, play my song. And I was like on the dance floor and they were like playing my song.
That's fire. Yeah, that's fire. Not to stray off from your story, but the first time I met Kaz, I was bagging groceries at Kroger.
Okay.
And he was buying flowers, I believe, for his mom. It was like, I want to say it was around Mother's Day. I was like 16. And I was like, bro, I just seen you in a YouTube video in Miami with Ace Hood. Like, and I was just like, bro, that's sweet, blah, blah. He's like, yeah. And that was the very first time I talked to him. And then I didn't meet him actually till like, I think like 2-3 years later.
Okay.
Yep, which is crazy. But back to your story.
So I went to Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so I went there to buy a TV mount for the TV in the front room here. And I met your cousin. His dad owns Arctic Corner.
Oh, St. Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch his name. I got his like rap name.
Yeah.
It was like Fish or something.
Yep.
But no, he came up.
My cousin, man. My good cousin.
Yep. So we like dapped each other up, and then he asked me about some studio stuff, and then he got talking about name dropped a few people. And I was like, oh, yep. I know him, or nope, never heard of him. Then he said Martin, and I was like, Desko Martin? He was like, yeah, that's my cousin. I was like, I just started a podcast with him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I seen that. And then he's like, you just had my girl's mom on there. And I'm like, wait, girl's mom, Amber? I was like, that's a small world.
Wait,
like,
really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so, but from talking to him, he was saying like when he was locked up in the past, like they used to watch TED Talks. And TED Talks, he likes them because they're like motivational and they're inspiring and stuff. And he was like, that's what I get from your guys's.
That's fire.
That made me go, all right, I'm going to the gym. And I had lost my like Bluetooth ear things. And so I went to Target, I bought a pair, and I'm like, I want to get caught up on our, everyone right now, it seems like everyone, spotlight effect. Yeah. It seems like everyone right now is getting caught up on our podcast, but no, just getting the feedback from people and stuff and people being like, yo, I'm on episode 4. I'm on 6 now. Yep. I love this. It's getting better and better every episode.
Even people you think usually wouldn't like, oh, he listened to this? Or, are commenting like real shit. You know what I'm saying? Or like, and it's just cool.
So I was like, yo, I want to get caught up on these. So I started listening to them. And I was telling Alyssa about some of the feedback people were telling me. She was like, I want to listen to them too. Because she was there the first episode that we did. Yeah. So she had never heard number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I started listening to some in the car. But there was one where I got talking about like the difference between a CEO and a COO and having a team, and each person on the team plays a different position. And that was some good shit, man, because that's where I'm at now, where I think we were talking about like team meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
A COO would be in charge of the operations. They'd be all over like weekly meetings. Here's the game plan. This is what we're doing. Yeah. Like just managing everything, basically, all the operations. And I said in that episode, I've learned that I'm horrible at that, which, obviously I want to get better at it and I will get better at it and I have gotten better at it. But like I went from awful to like bad, which is fine. Yeah. And maybe one day I'll go from bad to like decent or all right. Or maybe one day I might even be good. But yeah, man, in a perfect world, Crack House Studios would be even bigger to where I could find someone that's like naturally good at operation stuff and then be like, yo, just do that. Because I think that's the key to having a really successful team is you ask each person, and I've done this before too, where I ask people, where do you feel in your zone of genius?
Yep.
And shout out to my brother, because when I text him this, he responded instantly, so he had clarity, and it makes sense. He said, I said, when do you feel in your zone of genius? And he said, sales. And I'm just thinking like, yo, 6 days a week he goes
Yeah.
and sells cars.
Mm-hmm.
He got it figured out. My zone of genius is sales. 6 days a week,
Yeah.
I practice sales. And I had asked Malik, I even thought myself, and what I found about myself, it was like creating content, doing podcasts. Like I had so many different things, and I'm like, no wonder I don't feel like the clarity, the focus, the money, and all the different things that I should have, is because
It's everywhere.
it was everywhere.
Yep.
So that shows that my attention is everywhere. And what I'm doing every day is basically everywhere. It's all over the place. So I think that's the key, is eventually getting it to where one day
The team.
it's kind of like the music artist that's like, bro, if all I had to do was just make music, my life would be great. But it's like, unfortunately, big dog, you got to do everything. And one day,
it's gonna
hopefully,
happen.
you get to the point where you're like, aha, look, I did this all by myself. Now I just want to do music, and I want someone else to take care of this, and someone else to do this and this.
Yeah. And I think building that team is important, like we said, but I think also doing it early, like just even with our space, any company that I plan on doing now from now on is like building the team out and then building the structure way before we even become the company, if that makes sense.
Duh. Yeah, that definitely
But it's
makes
like,
sense.
you get, you go through this age gap of thinking like, I'm gonna start a company, I'm gonna own a company, LLC, everything, and I'm a brand now, promote the brand, and all this stuff, and you kind of realize like, just because you have a name and a logo, like what's the meaning behind that, or what is the structure behind that? If there's no structure, like no money's coming in, nothing that you do is prominent enough to make people believe that you're gonna be this big successful company.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. There's this book called The E-Myth.
Yeah.
Changed my life.
Okay.
It's basically, the principle of it is the most successful businesses in the world work because of the systems, not the people.
Yep.
Shout out to all the people, but he was using like McDonald's as an example.
Yeah.
And he said the reason why when you get a job at certain places and they say, this is how we do things here, is because someone someday was like, this is how, like maybe with Walmart, at one point in time, there was a guy that was like, this is how we should ring people up.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, I can't do this myself. I'm going to hire you. You're going to ring people up, and this is exactly how to do it. Got it? Okay, good. All right. Here's how I would stock the shelves. This seems to be the smartest way to do it. I'm going to hire someone, and let me show you. This is exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
This is how we don't mess it up. We figured it out. And like with McDonald's, he brings up that like McDonald's is one of the biggest companies in the world, and it's ran by very ordinary people. And so the business works because the system's not the people.
Yeah.
The people are replaceable because, it's like a minimum wage job for the most part, or maybe a little bit above minimum wage. But someone at one point figured out, bro, exactly this much ketchup. Don't get creative. They're not saying we're looking for people that know how to cook burgers. We're like, no, we're looking for anyone that wants to work this many hours a week.
Yeah.
We'll show you how we make burgers. We'll show you how we make fries. And I remember when I read that,
I can take it from that. That's good.
I thought to myself, like, when we go to McDonald's and we're about to order, we don't say, wait a second, who's the cook today?
Yeah.
Oh, so-and-so's the cook. No, it's just the food tastes the same every single time.
Yeah.
And so I thought, oh shit, with my studio, whether I mix it or this guy mixes it, it's completely different. Oh man, I got to systemize this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was attempting to do it a couple years ago, but I think I approached it not that I'm supposed to be position of power.
Yeah.
But I didn't say, this is how we're going to do it. I was being very, hey, we're all grown here. I don't want to tell another grown man how to do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like, it was my company. So it should have been, hey, moving forward,
Yeah.
this is what we're gonna do, and this is why.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions or input or suggestions? I'm open to all suggestions, but because what I was doing was, when you think about like the way a song is mixed, let's say a vocal chain, basically like the key to say Kaz's mixed sound is whatever he's got on his vocal chain. My mixed sound is whatever I got on the main vocal chain. So it's kind of like whatever is on your main vocal chain is the sauce in your the way it sounds.
Yeah.
And I was saying there is a way to make it uniform.
Oh, for sure.
And I think this is how I was doing it. I was basically saying, okay, and it was a group, it was a room full of like 5 of us. This is when I would do meetings more at the old studio. And I'd be like, all right, what's the first thing you put on your vocal chain? The first thing I do is I do reductive EQ.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you do reductive EQ. And it was like 3 out of 5 of us do that first. And I was like, okay, 3 out of 5 of us do that. So majority, we think we should do that. Why don't you? And he was like, well, I compress first and then I do the EQ stuff. And the other guy was like, yeah, I do compress first and I do EQ. And I'm like, well, let's all come together on this.
Yeah.
The reason why I do that is because I don't feel like you should add compression and all that stuff when you have bad frequency. So I think step 1 is you want to get rid of like the low end. You want to fix certain things or anything bad. We want to get rid of that first. Next, we want to compress and like turn and boost things. So, and it was like, okay. So what should have happened is like going forward, all of us are going to start with a reductive EQ. All right, next. The next thing I do is I use a de-esser. And it was like, I use a de-esser too. I use a de-esser. And it was kind of like 4 out of 5. And I was like, all right, so we can all agree. All 5 of us are going to use a de-esser second. Does that make sense? Why we do that? Okay. The next thing I use is this. And then that's where it started getting like interesting, where it was like from plugging 3, 4, 5, and 6, it was all over the place. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. But I will tell you, which is crazy that you brought that up, because at the Soul Lounge, somebody did come up to me and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know, to let Crack know that his studio is one of the only studios in Michigan that have a sample of their mixes or a recording on their website. I don't know if you do or not.
I don't anymore, but I used to. Oh shit.
Yeah, he
was
at
the old website.
Yeah,
damn, I gotta add that.
And he was like,
noted.
He was like, any studio I've ever tried to book.
You don't know what it sounds like.
Yeah, what does it sound like?
Damn.
He was like, and Crack had that on there.
Used to.
I thought you did, because he came up to me like it was fresh. So I was like, oh yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go tell him.
That's my friend, man. He's smart. He did it
but
right.
Now you don't have it.
No, I'm gonna add that.
Yeah, for sure.
Tonight.
Yeah. So.
Gosh.
Yeah, man. Before we get out of here, what's up with the fit? What's up with the hat, man?
So shout out to Heart on My Sleeve.
Heart on My Sleeve.
Heart on My Sleeve, man. I'd show you the back, but yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Fire.
This is cool.
Yeah. Good shirt. Good quality.
It's a thick one.
Yeah.
It's a thick, boxy, that's like the style now. It's kind of like the oversized t-shirt and stuff. But yeah, if you're a clothing brand out there and you're interested in sending some clothing in to us,
sure.
Yes, we both have our own brands. I have Royal Legacy Clothing. You have
the Finder's Fee.
But we film a lot of these episodes.
Yeah.
And we don't film these naked. So we'd love to be wearing your guys' clothing.
For sure.
I could have them send it to the studio. So if you're interested, I'll put the address in the description of this video. But if you just Google Crack House Studios, Lansing, Michigan, it's 3415 South Cedar Street. But yeah, you could send us in and just put attention, something in the water.
Yeah, for sure.
What size are you?
Extra large, extra large.
I'm an extra large as well. Yep, so that's pretty easy.
Yeah, perfect. Yep. It's funny though you say that, because with just wearing stuff to come to the pod, I was like, man, every time I come here, I'm just gonna like try to have something unique. So like even
Me
like
too.
this hat. I don't know, is it this side or this side?
Yeah, no, it's that side. Our Space 517, you know Big Dog.
Yeah, so like I'm like, man, let me just put something on that's unique to me,
It's a lot of pressure, bro, because
for sure.
I don't have a whole lot of clothes, and I've done so many YouTube videos that kind of like anything cool I have, I've worn.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I wore some stuff to the Soul Lounge, and I was like, man, I'm gonna wear this to the pod.
Yeah. Before I left the house, Alyssa's like, "Where are you going? Who are you trying to impress?" And I was like, "I got a podcast,
Yeah,
babe.
for sure.
It's gonna be filmed, you know."
Mm-hmm.
So, hell yeah,
Yeah.
that was a solid episode.
Yeah, for
Episode
sure.
11. Thank you
11.
guys for watching this far. Let us know in the comments what guest you would like us to have on future
Yep.
episodes. Also, what topics you'd
What topics?
like to hear us talk about.
Mhm.
If you're listening on Spotify, please give this a 5-star rating.
Yeah.
And write something nice. Screenshot
5
it.
stars.
Tag us on Instagram. I'm Cracka_lack.
I'm Desko Martin.
And then we have SITW for something in the water
Yeah.
podcast. SITW podcast on Instagram and TikTok. We're on
Yep.
TikTok now. We got our first 100 followers on like all platforms except for YouTube. We're at like 60 subscribers or something like
we
that.
gotta get up there though. We're gonna get up there.
That's cool to know that, like, kind of in the first weekish of launching,
Yeah.
you know, getting almost 100 on all platforms is
Yeah. And before we get out of here, I just want to make sure to let everybody know, if you feel like doing something, don't even think about it. Just do it. That's going to benefit you. That's going to benefit everybody that content goes to.
But what if I feel like everyone's gonna judge me or like make fun of me? Or
I think you'll get better over time. I think even just right now, how I came in with my energy, like you can kind of see from when we started till now. Right now, I feel super comfortable.
yeah,
So I think things change after a while.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we're out. Thanks for watching.